Hello movie watchers, welcome to Indie Movie Guide. Today we're going to talk about 2 Days, a movie about an actor who decides to kill himself and make a movie about it. You know what's interesting? Independent filmmakers often use filmmaking itself as a vehicle for their story, and I think this is not the last movie on this channel that will be about filmmaking in one way or another. And I think that's quite understandable because, well, first of all, you're telling a story about something that you actually know, so you can tell if it's realistic or not. Second of all, it helps to save a lot of time, effort, and money. If you're filming within a set, you're filming the set itself. And to be honest, I really like those kinds of movies, because they always have very specific details which I think filmmakers just straight up got from their experience. For example, in this one, director of photography has a lot of issues with director grabbing his camera all the time. And this is just pure fun. It's not related to the story, but that's a detail I'm 100% sure the creators of the movie experienced themselves. But anyway, enough of those vignettes. Let's talk about the movie itself. It's about suicide. It's not a spoiler because it's revealed in the first 1 or 2 minutes of the movie when we meet all the main characters, being Paul, the actor who is going to kill himself, and the crew. There is a director, an assistant director, and a director of photography. And soon enough, there are also 2 more guys who are making a documentary about this documentary. So right from the beginning, we have multiple layers of the story. On one hand, we have the personal drama of Paul, who decides to end his life and his last days, like what he's gonna do, if he's gonna change his mind or not, what led to this, well, etc. And then we have a lot of ethical conflicts for the crew because, for example, as a documentarian, your goal is not to be involved and observe what's happening. But the question is, if what's happening is someone committing suicide, should you break the code and be involved in this situation? And I know it sounds a bit absurd, but sometimes absurd situations can highlight the ethical dilemmas people have. And on top of that, or maybe below that, we have the interpersonal relationships between all the crew members. Some of them are friends, some of them just met each other, and it's a pretty weird reason to meet some new people in your life, working on a movie about suicide that's going to happen but not happened yet. So it's very interesting to observe.
Maybe I'll kill myself too. Maybe we'll have a mass suicide here in front of your apartment. This isn't your film, it's mine.
And although this movie is defined as comedy drama, I think it's way more drama than comedy. But there are funny moments, and when they happen, they really work. And it's pretty interesting visually, because we have 3 visual layers. The first layer is the reality of the movie, as seen by a neutral camera that just observes what's going on. The second layer is the crew camera that gives us access to the movie they making. It gives us a different perspective on the characters because they act differently when they see the camera or when they talk to it. We can see the contrast between their behavior on and off camera. The third layer is thanks to those 2 additional guys who are students making a documentary about this documentary, which adds to the absurdity but also to the flexibility of the visual content. Their camera becomes yet another meta layer of the story, so the movie is edited in a very interesting way. Definitely points for that. What else can I mention here? Well, the acting and the main character, Paul, played by Paul Rudd. I'm pretty sure you know who he is, and he sort of has a type that he usually plays. You can say Paul Rudd is essentially playing Paul Rudd in every movie, with just some variations. He's like a nice, light-hearted, funny guy, but here his character's personality is sort of the opposite. He's depressed, bitter, very sarcastic, and just not very invested in life. And Paul Rudd nails this role. The rest of the cast is also great. I just wanted to mention Paul Rudd's performance because it really stands out. So, as you might guess, I really recommend this movie. I mean, if those kinds of topics are not too sensitive for you, which is totally fine if they are, but if not, it's a great exploration of meaning of life, death, and that sort of stuff. And as always, if you watch this movie after review, just let me know in the comments if it was helpful. And that's all for today. See you next time.